I am ready to call it now. Sk8 The Infinity will be the surprise success of the 2021 winter season. What is up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. I'm giving out subscriptions down below, so if you're interested in Sk8 The Infinity, I will be reviewing every episode, so you don't want to miss anything. Go hit that button. I'd appreciate it. When I was going through the winter releases of anime, Sk8 The Infinity is a show that really stood out to me and is a show that I made sure I was going to watch when the first episode dropped, and I am so glad I did because that first episode gave me a lot of hope for what this show could be. I think it has the potential to be one of the better shows of the winter season. Also, that first episode gave me some serious Air Gear vibes. Now, if you have not seen Air Gear, it is an anime from the early 2000s that, in retrospect, wasn't all that good, but there were some things that Air Gear did really well, and one of those things is it built a underground subculture around a sport, like a street sport. You know, the sport was motorized rollerblading, and it built a subculture around that sport that was really popular. It had a lot of like young teenagers, but also established adults within that subculture. And the sport itself was, you know, it was based in the streets, but it was also had some danger to it, and the competitions are really intense. So there are a lot of things about Air Gear that I think that Sk8 The Infinity can kind of like borrow from and build upon and go to even greater heights, because like in retrospect, I loved Air Gear when I first watched it. But if I were to watch that show now, I would see so many things that just weren't done all that well, and I could really critique a lot more harsher than I could when I was, 13, 14 years old, to give or take. Actually, Air Gear is bad in very fun way, so I do recommend you go check Air Gear out. Give it a shot. But back to Sk8 The Infinity, I do think one of the main strengths of this show is definitely going to be the dynamic between the two main characters, Reiki and Longa. You have Reiki, who is the experienced skater. He knows how to skateboard. He is familiar with the subculture. He is familiar with the competitions. He competes in those competitions himself, so he knows who the major players are. He knows just how to get around within the subculture of skating. And then you have Longa, who is a foreigner. Well, he's half Japanese, half Canadian, so he is coming back to Japan. He has no experience skateboarding, but he is an experienced snowboarder. So you get to see Longa come in, learn how to skate, and implement some of the skills that he has from snowboarding, and see if those skills can translate into skateboarding. In the first episode, we see that those skills really do translate. He enters in a competition in the first episode and does really well. He does things that other skateboarders would not think to do, because he's bringing an outside perspective of someone who has never really skateboarded, who has competed in a different sport. And he's bringing in some of those things, and he's trying different things out that other regular skateboarders would not think to do. And he had some real success in this episode. Now, we didn't get to see how the race ended, but just judging from the last few scenes, I would have to think it ended like he didn't like die or anything. So he might not win the race, but he competed to a level that no one expected. So it sets up going forward where you have Reiki, who again is the established skater. You have Longa, who seems to have all this potential to be a really great skateboarder. And I wonder, since you have Reiki, who again, like I said, is the established skater, he has spent all this time trying to master skateboarding. Will there be some kind of headbutting between Reiki and Longa? Because yeah, they're friends right now, but once Reiki sees all the potential that Longa has going forward, will there be some jealousy there? Because if you spent so much time trying to get good at something, and this person who has never really put in that kind of effort into that particular activity or sport or whatever comes in and is immediately very good at it, I can see where some jealousy might form there. So will that be something to watch out for going forward? Maybe down the line, like, some episodes from now, once Longa gets better and better, and maybe he becomes better than Reiki. Also, I really like that the show seems to know that it's ridiculous, and it seems that it's going to lean into being ridiculous. You have all of these flamboyant characters within the culture of the skaters and their competitions, and I like that the show seems like it's really going to lean heavily into that. It hasn't introduced who I think is going to be the main bad guy in the show yet, but we have gotten glimpses of that character, and that character seems to be just super flamboyantly ridiculous, and I like that. Sometimes shows have characters that are super ridiculous, and it seems out of place because the show doesn't acknowledge how ridiculous they are, whereas Sk8 The Infinity seems really tongue-in-cheek. It knows what it's doing, or at least it seems that way, and so I have faith that the ridiculousness of the characters and the settings and the competitions themselves will actually lend to the story being better and lend to the show being better, because the show is self-aware of what it is. As far as animation, just from this first episode, there were a few scenes that I thought were very pretty, but the animation itself wasn't anything spectacular. Now, it wasn't bad by any means. It was very adequate. The scenes that people were skating, I thought were done well enough to enjoy them. There was nothing, I have nothing bad to say about the animation quality. I also just don't have many like good things to say about it. It was adequate in this first episode there, but there were a particularly few scenes that were very pretty and very well done. So just with that, I have hopes that the show will at least maintain a certain quality of animation to enjoy the story and enjoy the action and enjoy the skating going forward. After watching that first episode of Sk8 The Infinity, I have no problem recommending that you check out this show. If you like sports anime, I think you will enjoy it. If you like skateboarding in particular, I think you'll find a lot of things about this show to love. Now, you might see some things that maybe are incorrect from a technical aspect when it comes to skateboarding and while watching this show that I wouldn't pick up on. I have never skateboarded, never really had an interest in skateboarding, so there might be some things that the show does not do well just in terms of the technical aspect of skateboarding that I won't pick up on. So if you see some of those things, by all means, hit me up in the comments and let me know. But again, I do recommend that you watch this show. I think it has serious potential to be one of the better shows of the winter season. Alright guys, that's all I have for you in this one. If you like this video, go hit that thumbs up. And if you are so inclined, subscribe and share. I would appreciate it and it would help me out a lot. If you didn't like the video, let me know in the comments. We can talk about it. I respond to almost everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.